Ghana wishes to draw attention to the very consequential resolution which President John Dramani Mahama of Ghana will be tabling on the 25th of March, which is just next week Wednesday, a few days from now. This is a resolution seeking to declare the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity. For more than 300 years, Africans were treated as property, were tortured, humiliated, raped, and forced out of the continent, over 12.5 million of them, in the most dehumanizing and despicable circumstances. The world is yet to acknowledge this. Perpetrators are yet to apologize and have not compensated the victims. This is the time to demand reparatory justice, and this is the time to demand restitution.
The legendary American jazz player Miles Davis said, and I quote, "It's not the notes you play, it's the notes you don't play." When it comes to the contributions that Africa has made to enriching Europe and building the so-called New World, the silence is deafening. We have paved roads through mountains, we've put down railroad tracks, we've constructed buildings, laying brick after brick, we have cut sugar, cane, we've picked cocoa and cotton, we've descended into mines to unearth precious metals and stones, and we have wet-nursed babies. We've paid the price of admission with the blood of our ancestors, and still what greets us at the door is silence. We are met with what? 45.
Guys, Ghana won. See guys, the votes has been counted, and the speech the president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, made, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okuzato, what is said at the UN summit, in fact, it was massive. They actually won, and Africa is going to be compensated. Just imagine a president speaking for the whole of Africa. This is something massive. Let's take a look at some of the videos and how it all went down. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
I am delighted to note that following our meetings, they all publicly endorsed this draft resolution. The Congressional Black Caucus actually wrote to the U.S. ambassador here to make sure that he votes in favor of this resolution. I'm sure he's really in trouble with the Congressional Black Caucus, 62 congressmen who urged him to vote positively, and he's defied them. I don't want to be in his shoes today. There was also a statement of endorsement yesterday from NAACP, and I also note that a lot of black members of parliament, particularly in the House of Commons, the MP Belle Ribeiro, she has also done a phenomenal job in mobilizing the House of Commons in support of this resolution. So we've had a very broad-based coalition, and we thank them very much for the support, the pressure that they all brought to bear. That is what has culminated in this victory. So it's a collective victory, and collectively we must all take credit for this victory. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. We'll have more opportunities to interact. Thank you.
Ghana has already attracted wide global backing for its landmark resolution, which will be represented at the United Nations on Wednesday, and will call for the transatlantic slave trade to be formally recognized as a crime against humanity. President John Mahama, who serves as the African Union's champion for reparations, is leading the initiative. Who supports and who opposes the resolution? The 54-member African Union, CARICOM, and Brazil are among the key supporters. the US Congressional Black Caucus, the Global Group of Experts on Reparations, and several civil society groups have also declared their backing. But both Europe and the United States are expected to vote against the resolution, a stance which Ghana has strongly criticized.
It is unfortunate that our friends in the EU and the US have served notice that they will not be voting for this resolution. But the good news is that we are far more than them. And we want to be on the side of justice, on the right side of history, and we want healing and closure in a way that is dignified.
What does the resolution demand? The proposal calls for a formal acknowledgement of the transatlantic slave trade as a crime against humanity, official apologies and financial reparations, citing the enduring economic and social consequences of slavery. Why is Ghana leading this campaign? Ghana is home to several historic slave forts and has positioned itself as a central voice for accountability and historical justice. The African Union has also extended its reparations agenda through 2036, further elevating Ghana's leadership role.
The president of Ghana has decided the future of Africa. Ghana won after the UN general election on criminalization of transatlantic slave trade. That was advocated by the president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama. Now Ghana won. The slave masters didn't vote. They voted against what Ghana is saying because they are the ones who orchestrated that slave trade, so they can't vote against their actions. So after the election, Ghana won. Now Ghana is demanding reparation to the slave trade, to Africans, to the black people. Ghana won. I quite remember Barack Obama once said, Ghana is going to shape the world, and it is true. It is the beginning. Ghana is now shaking the entire world.
Can you see what Ghana president is doing for the whole Africa? I never sure say you hear this thing. I'm not sure say you hear what they happen. The Ghana president is taking Africa to the next level, to the extent that the people who enslaved our forefathers, they need to compensate us. This is the kind of leader we want. The second Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana, somebody who think about the people. I've heard they talk this thing. I know they believe me. I know they talk anyhow. I know person where they sit as a Ghana president. I beg, listen to this wonderful moment with one man. All the whole continent gather to discuss about this matter.
Truth begins with language, with the power that words hold to shape consciousness and to shift perspectives, to propel an action or other. There's no such thing as a slave. There were human beings who were trafficked and then enslaved by people who believed they could own those human beings as chattels, as their personal property. The entire transatlantic slave trade was designed to deny African people their humanity. And that denial was premised on a racial hierarchy with no basis in fact or science, a racial hierarchy that deemed whiteness superior and blackness inferior. So when discussing slavery and its resulting institutions and practices, we must always start by reclaiming racial equality, the dignity of Africans, the humanity of our ancestors who were enslaved, and as a matter of course, our own humanity. I speak these words today not only for Ghana, but also in solidarity with the rest of Africa, the Caribbean, Latin America, and the wider diaspora, and indeed all people of good conscience throughout the world. This resolution is a pathway to healing and reparative justice. This resolution is a safeguard against forgetting. We stand united as Africans, whether on the continent or any part of the world, and link up with people of conscience around the world to seek truth and justice and restore the dignity and humanity of victims of the slave trade. This is a resolution of destiny. And I hope all of you will vote tomorrow to establish truth so that together we can pass this historic resolution and finally acknowledge the full horrors of these transgressions against humanity of the approximately 15 million human beings who were enslaved.